Oh, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a hopefully calmer presentation of the Bible tonight with a flawed man. That is me. This is my channel. My name is Stuart Davis. I'm nobody special. I'm a deacon at a small church that's outside of Richmond, Virginia. I'm not a pastor, not a biblical scholar. I haven't been to seminary. I'm not here to get you to try to join my congregation. I'm not here to get you to donate to a special cause. What I am here to do is offer exposure, a look into the mind of what I consider to be your average everyday Christian. I have my thoughts and feelings on topics and events that will impact me in a Christian way, but also to just kind of give you that look. If you're looking for a glimpse into the Christian life, that's what I'm here to do. And here to do it in many ways. Bring other people on, get their thoughts, react to your comments and and questions, and also to discuss things like the Bible, which is what this whole series is about. We'll be reading the Bible. We're going to be picking up where we left off in Exodus. Now, if you like this program, if you like what you're seeing here, please follow me, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and start following me. Because I do this nightly, at least weeknightly, and I'll be forever grateful for your subscriptions. But also follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and the name there is the same, A Flawed Man of God. On Twitter, on Instagram, or no, I'm not on Instagram yet, and I will be constantly updating the show and sharing thoughts and feelings. Don't do it so much because I do enough of the sharing of thoughts on the show that I really don't feel too much like expressing much outside of that. However, I am very interested in getting your feedback and would very much like your audience. If you know anybody who you think would benefit from this or might be interested, by all means, share. What I've gotten so far is great feedback. What I need now is exposure, and that would help. And the best thing I can do is lean on you guys for that. So if you're able to, I'd appreciate it. So tonight, I may have given you the false impression that Eric Roland was going to be on here tonight with me. We are not doing that every Tuesday night. We are going to be doing that every other Tuesday night. And so that said, he will be on next week, where we will finish up our discussion about the Israelite tribes and go from there. Tomorrow night, we will be having Kristen Gupta on. You might know her as the author Kristen Beal, and she'll be on here to share her thoughts concerning faith and healing in the face of personal tragedy or personal injury, limitations, things like that, and how this has impacted her life and how she has grown as a person. She's an awesome personality. She's got a great story, and I'm sure you all love to hear her what she has to say. Friday night, we are going to be having a friend of mine on, and she is going to be discussing her perspective as a woman and women in the Bible as it relates to being a woman in the church nowadays. Just kind of thoughts and feelings. She has a lot of experience from many different angles throughout her life that I think would be helpful. I think it's going to be great. I'm excited for her. She might be a little bit nervous going live, but I'm going to do whatever I can to make her feel comfortable and get that conversation out, because she is a very good conversationalist. Now we can get on to the meat of tonight's subject, which is Exodus, the aftermath of Moses's return down the mountain of Sinai with the original 10 commandments, and seeing what has happened in the 40 days of his absence, which was quite a scene from what we discussed. So we see it starts with God and Moses are finishing up their communing, their heart to heart, that their planning of the covenant, or God sharing his plan with Moses. And then God turns to him and says, your boys need to get you need to check your boys, because they're downstairs doing some really dumb things. And so Moses comes down there, and he probably has no idea about the gravity or to the extent of how insane things have gotten. It took him leaving for just over a month for the Israelites to decide that they wanted to worship other gods and melt down their jewelry into animals. So my personal feelings on this: don't worship animals. Don't worship anything but God. But why, if at all things, why would you worship anything like an animal that's beneath you? It's beneath us. Don't raise something from beneath you up and then try to worship that. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. If you're gonna do something silly and worship a false god, which is not advisable in any way means, but why would you go through it in such a weak way as to worship an animal? It's just silly. And Moses has had it at that point. He comes down there and sees that. He takes these original 10 commandments inscribed by God, and just throws them, breaks them, and proceeds to rally the Levites around him and kill 3,000 Israelites who had lost their damn minds. So after that's been done, he says, he gets the Israelites together and was like, y'all have been incredibly stupid, and y'all have made all of us look bad, but particularly me, because I was up there talking to God while you were doing all this. Allow me to go back up there and try to see if there's anything I can salvage out of this covenant that he had made between me and our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So Moses goes up there, does the incredibly selfless thing of trying to tell God to take it out of him, on him, and try to take responsibility for that, because he loved his fellow man so much that even in the face of such sheer stupidity, he still wants them to have a shot. He still wants that covenant for them. He wants that future for them. Maybe not for them, but for their children and their children's children, and going on from there. Because God, he was ready to wipe them all out and start all over again, with Moses just being the new Abraham. So God listens, because that was God's plan all along. And that's why he chose Moses. All this, again, a lot of this is to show the example of what God's plan is, and to show us why things are important. Certain things are important. Grace is an important thing. Forgiveness is an important thing. And what Moses does, big example of forgiveness. It's very Christ-like of him, right? I think that's why God likes Moses so much. So Exodus 33, we're going to be getting into it. Let me share the screen. For those of you, I do mention this from time to time, I use BibleGateway.com. It's a great tool. It's better than any app you can get. Very useful. Lots of different translations, easy to navigate, and lots of resources to the side. And this is what we'll be doing tonight. We do every night that we're reading. So from here. Then the Lord said to Moses, leave this place, you and the people you brought up out of Egypt, and go up to the land I promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I will give it to your descendants. I will send an angel before you and drive out the Canaanites, Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. Go up to the land flowing with milk and honey, but I will not go with you, because you are a stiff-necked people, and I might destroy you on the way. I want to do a stream on humor in the Bible. And while this is funny because I'm not involved in this. I would be scared to death if God was saying this to me like he was saying it's to the Israelites. But for good reason, right? This is not going to be the only time the Israelites screw up. It hasn't been the first time the Israelites have screwed up. They've screwed up before by just whining about the whole thing. They've whined from the Red Sea, from right before the parting of the Red Sea, to when they were hungry, to when they were thirsty, and do this for us. God always provides, and constant whining and faithlessness. So God's like, I'm getting ready to put punishment on there. I'm going to send an angel. He's going to accompany you, because if I do it, I might just wipe you all out. Because one of y'all is going to say something or do something at the wrong time, and I'm not going to take it the right way. And then there's going to be a disaster of biblical proportions, and there will be no more Israelites, except for Moses. And he can stay. And probably his family. When the people heard these distressing words, of course they did, they began to mourn, and no one put on any ornaments. For the Lord had said to Moses, tell the Israelites, you are a stiff-necked people. And of course they are. If I were to go with you even for a moment, I might destroy you. Now take off your ornaments, and I will decide what to do with you. So the Israelites stripped off their ornaments at Mount Horeb, the tent of meeting. Now Moses used to take a tent and pitch it outside the camp some distance away, calling it the tent of meeting. Anyone inquiring of the Lord would go to the tent of meeting outside the camp. That's nice. And whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people rose and stood at the entrances to their tents, watching Moses until he entered the tent. As Moses went into the tent, the pillar of cloud would come down and stay at the entrance, while the Lord spoke to Moses. Whenever the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance to the tent, they all stood and worshipped, each at the entrance to their tent. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face, as one speaks to a friend. Then Moses would return to the camp, but his young aide, Joshua, son of Nun, did not leave the tent. Something very, very incredible here. Honoring. And Moses wrote the Pentateuch, right? He wrote these first 5. Imagine him just putting it on the paper, feeling in your heart. The Lord would speak to Moses face to face as one speaks to a friend. God talking to you as if you were a friend. Not I'm the all-powerful, almighty being, creator of all things. I am here for you to worship me. But talk to you kind of like I'm talking to you right now. Hey, buddy. How's your day going? What's going on, man? What's bothering you? The Israelites complaining about the manna, too much manna, not enough manna. Is the quail too gamey for them? Are they just really upset with that? Did they eat too much? Is too much walking? Do they need shoes? Do you need me to miracle tennis shoes for everybody, or a good set of orthopedic walking shoes? Because guess what? You got another 40 years of this coming ahead of you. But I bet you there was probably a fair amount of commiseration over this, with God about the Israelites. He has to manage this, right? Moses has to manage this, these people, and it weighs upon him heavily. And we don't see it as much right now, even though we do see Moses show some signs of distress, but it's only going to get more. It's only going to get worse, because it's not the Israelites are not going to let up. They're going to continue to mess up, and they are going to continue to be a stiff-necked people, a stiff-necked and stubborn people. I wonder if Israelite is a name for a donkey, kind of like ass is a name for a donkey. So it would make a lot of sense. Stubborn, stiff-necked. Jacob was a lot like that, and Jacob becomes named Israelite, and this is all, you are stiff-necked people. They take a lot of Israel / Jacob's best qualities, or most flawed qualities, and they all seem to add on to it with, again, faithlessness. You never would have caught Jacob worshiping a false idol. Never would have seen him worshiping worldly things. Jacob, for all of his problems, was faithful and God-fearing. Not God-fearing enough not to fight him, right? Moses said to the Lord, you have been telling me, lead these people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. You have said, I know you by name, and you have found favor with me. If you are that pleased with me, teach me your ways so that I may know you and continue to find favor with you. Remember that this nation is your people. This is very similar. I've missed this. I actually have never caught this before. This is very similar to Solomon's request for knowledge from God. If you love me, teach me your ways. Teach me Teach me how to do this so that I can continue to do it the right way. Moses is afraid of screwing up. Not to the fact that he already does have a hang on one second. Not that Moses doesn't already have some issues with confidence. He didn't really want this job. He didn't feel like he was good enough for this job. He didn't feel like he would be the right man for it. God convinced him in God fashion. You are going to do this, but having confidence from God is probably very reassuring. But at the same time, he's facing a lot of adversity here with all this faithlessness and all this misbehavior. So the Lord replied, "My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest." Then Moses said to him, "If your presence does not go with us, do not send us up from here. How will anyone know that you are pleased with me and your people unless you go with us? What else will distinguish me and your people from all of the other people on the face of the earth?" And the Lord said to Moses, "I will do the very thing you have asked, because I am pleased with you, and I know you by name." Pleased with you because you asked. Pleased with you. And so the Lord is happy with him. The Lord is happy with him. And not only that, it gives Moses more credit to the Israelites that they feel like Moses has got this, is acting as this intermediary, and is giving this advice to God. God doesn't need the advice. God is welcoming it because he wants somebody to say what God wants them to say. And Moses is the man. That's why God picked him. He is the man who's going to do the right thing. And Moses is doing the right thing. Then Moses says, show me your glory. And the Lord said, I will cause all my goodness to pass in front of you, and I will proclaim my name, the Lord, in your presence. I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. But, he said, you cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live. The ultimate awesome power of the face of God. Can't see it. Then the Lord said, there is a place near me where you may stand on a rock. When my glory passes by, I will put you in a cleft in the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will remove my hand, and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen. Hoo-hoo. You just got your golden ticket right there, Moses. That's pretty cool. The Lord said to Moses, chisel out 2 stone tablets like the first ones, and I will write on them the words that were on the first tablets, which you broke. Be ready in the morning, and then come up on Mount Sinai. Present yourself to me there on top of the mountain. No one is to come with you or to be seen anywhere on the mountain, not even in the flocks and herds that may graze in front of the mountains. This is basically what he told them last time. Don't get near me. Moses is allowed, no one else. So Moses chiseled out 2 stone tablets like the first ones and went up on Mount Sinai early in the morning, as the Lord had commanded him, and he carried the 2 stone tablets in his hand. Then the Lord came down in the cloud and stood there with him and proclaimed his name, the Lord. And he passed in front of Moses, proclaiming, the Lord, the compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness, maintaining love to thousands, and forgiving wickedness, rebellion, and sin. Yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children and their children for the sin of the parents to the 3rd and 4th generation. Something we don't have to worry about these days. With Christ came the resolution of that. Moses bowed to the ground at once and worshiped. Lord, he said, if I have found favor in your eyes, then let the Lord go with us. Although this is a stiff-necked people, forgive our wickedness and our sin and take us as your inheritance. And then the Lord said, I am making a covenant with you. Before all your people, I will do wonders never before done in any nation of the world. Making you, the people you live among, will see how awesome is the work that I, the Lord, will do for you. Obey what I command you today. I will drive out before you the Amorites, Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, and all those other meddlesome ites. Be careful not to make a treaty with those who live in the land where you are going, or they will become a snare among you. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and cut down their Asherah poles. Do not worship any other god, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Jealous is my middle name. This is interesting. This is very prophetic, right? I will do wonders never done in any nation in all the world. I'm going to prove my divinity by doing awesome things, because y'all, I can't make y'all watch me create what I created when I created the universe. But I'll do little things like part the Red Sea and send several plagues. But you guys as Israelites will see all this, and you will know. Didn't say they would obey. You will see how awesome the work that I, the Lord, will do for you. They're going to witness it. Doesn't say that they're going to believe. Now, doesn't say that they're going to be faithful. And then he's going to drive out the enemies, all the ites. All the ites that don't begin with Israel. Be careful not to make the treaty with those who live in the land, or they will become a snare among you. Prophetic. He knows what's going to happen. Break down their altars, smash their sacred stones, and cut down their Asherah poles. You think they're going to do that? You think the Israelites are going to do that? The same people who made their own animal effigy because Moses was gone a couple days longer than they thought he should be? You think they're going to destroy someone else's idols? Pressing X to doubt that on that one. Be careful not to make a treaty with those who live in the land, for when they prostitute themselves to their gods and sacrifice to them, they will invite you, and you will eat their sacrifices. And when you choose some of their daughters as wives for your sons, and those daughters prostitute themselves to their gods, they will lead your sons to do the same. Some recalling back to Esau. Why we said Esau was a good guy, man of the earth. Man, maybe a man too much of the earth, because he went and married the Hittite women, and he's telling them not to do the same thing that Esau did. Do not make any idols. He does have to reiterate this, because the whole reason we're in this situation to begin with is because they were making idols. Celebrate the festival of unleavened bread. For 7 days, eat bread made without yeast, because I don't like yeast. God is anti-yeast. As I commanded you, do this at the appointed time in the month of Aviv, for in that month you came out of Egypt. The first offspring of every womb belongs to me, including all the firstborn males of your livestock, whether from herd or flock. Redeem the firstborn donkey with a lamb. But if you do not redeem it, break its neck. Redeem all your firstborn sons. You know why? He doesn't know why yet, because I don't think they've prophesied it yet. But he's showing all the signs. God's firstborn, unblemished lamb, Jesus Christ. No one is to appear before me empty-handed. 6 days you shall labor, but on the seventh day you shall rest. Even during the plowing season and harvest you must rest. Let me go back. No one is to appear before me empty-handed. That's also a commandment for us to be neighborly and a community. If we see somebody who's struggling, who is without, and that's not through any fault of their own, maybe it would be on us to help out. Charity, grace, very important. Celebrate the festival of weeks with the first fruits of the wheat harvest, and the festival of ingathering at the turn of the year. 3 times a year, all your men are to appear before the sovereign Lord, the God of Israel. I will drive out nations before you and enlarge your territory, and no one will covet your land when you go up 3 times each year to appear before the Lord your God. Do not offer the blood of a sacrifice to me along with anything containing yeast, and do not let any of the sacrifice from the Passover festival remain until morning. Bring the best of the first fruits of your soil to the house of the Lord your God. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk, because, man, that's just wrong. Then the Lord said to Moses, write down these words, for in accordance with these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. Moses was there with the Lord 40 days and 40 nights without eating bread or drinking water. Oh, there it is. There it is. Without eating bread or drinking water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. The 10 commandments. The radiant face of Moses. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the covenant law in his hands, he was not aware that his face was radiant because he had spoken with the Lord. He got a little bit sunburned when he got to catch a glimpse of God, the Almighty. He got a little bit, face got a little nuked there. When Aaron and all the Israelites saw Moses, his face was radiant, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called to them. So Aaron and all the leaders of the community came back to him, and he spoke to them. Afterward, all the Israelites came near him, and he gave them all the commandments the Lord had given him on Mount Sinai. When Moses finished speaking with them, he put a veil over his face. But whenever he entered the Lord's presence to speak with him, he removed the veil until he came out. And when he came out, he told the Israelites what he had been commanded. And they saw that his face was radiant. Then Moses would put the veil back over his face, and he went to speak with the Lord. Somebody needs to give Moses some sunscreen. It'll make things easier for him. Last chapter tonight. Sabbath Regulations. Moses assembled the whole Israelite community, and he said to them, these are the things the Lord has commanded you to do. For 6 days work is to be done, but the 7th day shall be your holy day, a day of Sabbath, rest to the Lord. Whoever does any work on it is to be put to death. Do not light a fire in any of your dwellings on the Sabbath day. Materials for the tent. So that's an important one. So this is the one that I want to do a stream on with Eric and maybe some other folks if they want to partake. And that is discussing the Sabbath and how we keep it holy and how this commandment affects us today. Because I tell you what, a lot of us are working on Sundays. A lot of us work every single day in one way or another. And is that really in line with what God is telling us to do? Because he seems to be very clear in the Old Testament. Sunday's a day of relaxation. Not necessarily, they say rest, but that doesn't mean, I don't think that in the literal term that you need to sleep the whole day or not do literally anything all day, but to relax, a little bit of recreation, just taking it easy. And some people do feel like that they get relaxation off of doing work. I think God's point here is to remind us that we do need to rest and relax, and we need to recharge somewhat, because if we stay active all the time, we might find ourselves overworked and it doesn't leave much left to us afterwards. We need to take that time to honor him. It's good. But what do we do on Sundays? Maybe we're doing some yard work. Maybe we're skipping church and go watch the football game. We're not keeping it holy. We're not keeping it for if we're not taking that advice from God, that commandment from God. Advice through a commandment. Advice, don't kill people. Advice, don't steal. Advice, go to church, honor me, rest. Do these things. It will be a good conversation, I think. So, materials for the tabernacle. Moses said to the whole Israelite community, this is what the Lord has commanded. From what you have, take an offering for the Lord, everyone who is willing to bring to the Lord an offering of gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, goat hair, ram skins dyed red, and another type of durable leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the light, spices for the anointing, oil, and for the fragrant incense, and onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and breastpiece. All who are skilled among you are to come and make everything the Lord has commanded, the tabernacle with its tents and its coverings, clasps, frames, crossbars, posts, and base, the ark and its poles, and atonement cover, and the curtain that shields it, the temple with its poles, and all the articles in the bread of the presence, the lampstand that is for light, and with its accessories, lamps, and oil for the light, the altar of the incense with its poles, anointing oil, and the fragrant incense, the curtain of the doorway, and the entrance to the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offerings with its bronze grating, its poles, and all its utensils, the bronze basin with its stand, the curtains of the courtyard with its posts and bases, and the curtain for the entrance to the courtyard, the tent pegs for the tabernacle and for the courtyard, and their ropes, the woven garments worn for ministering in the sanctuary, both the sacred garments for Aaron the priest and the garments for his sons when they serve as priests. Then the whole Israelite community withdrew from Moses' presence, and everyone who was willing and whose heart moved them came to and brought an offering to the Lord for the work in the tent of meeting, for all its service, for all the sacred garments. Who wouldn't be moved by that? Out of anything more, if it even at the bare minimum, shame for all the crap you did to deserve Moses breaking the 10 Commandment tablets in the first place. Please, here's my offering, and here's an offering for my friend or anybody else who maybe did worse or maybe did less. I don't know, but here's extra. Here's a little extra. Please don't destroy us. Those presenting an offering of silver or bronze brought it as an offering to the Lord, and everyone who had acacia wood for any part. Oh, wait, hold on. All who were willing, men and women alike, came and brought gold jewelry of all kinds, brooches, earrings, rings, and ornaments. I wonder how many of those they got from the Egyptians. They all presented their gold as a wave offering to the Lord. Everyone who had blue, purple, or scarlet yarn of fine linen, or goat hair, ram skins dyed red, or the other durable leather brought to them. Those presenting an offering of silver or bronze brought it as an offering to the Lord. And everyone who had acacia wood for any part of the work brought it. Every skilled woman spun with her hands and brought what she had spun, blue, purple, or scarlet yarn, or fine linen. And all the women who were willing and had the skill spun the goat hair. The leaders brought onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and the breastpiece. They also brought spices and olive oil for the light and for the anointing oil for the fragrant incense. All the Israelite men and women who were willing brought to the Lord free will offerings for all the work the Lord through Moses had commanded them to do. Righteous right there. Righteous right there. Putting it in there. I brought you something extra. I brought this freely because I'm just thankful for all the things that you've done that maybe my friends and neighbors, maybe some folks I don't particularly care for, have taken for granted. All the stuff I've taken for granted. You parting the Red Sea for me. You giving us food, literally raining down on us, and water, giving us clean water to drink and bathe ourselves and do all this other stuff. Oh, and not destroying us for when our leader left us for a few days and we worshiped some imaginary god, or maybe a real demon. Who knows? Thank you for all these things. Okay, I like that. Then on here we'll close out. Bezalel and and Oholib. Bezalel and Oholib. I think I might have been somewhat correct in that. Then Moses said to the Israelites, "See, the Lord has chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, and son of Hur, the son of Ur, of the tribe of Judah, and he has filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom and with understanding, with knowledge and with all kinds of skills, God-given talents, to make artistic designs for work in gold, silver, and bronze, to cut and set stones, to work in wood, engage in all kinds of artistic crafts. And he has given both him and Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, the ability to teach others. He has filled them with the skill to do all kinds of work as engravers, designers, embroiderers, in blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, and weavers, all of them skilled workers and designers. This is cool. That would be cool. We talk about all the cool things. Again, going through this thing, all the different things you get to witness as an Israelite through here, and as being Moses, the awesomeness of being Moses, or being Joshua, being witness to all the cool things that Moses gets to take advantage of. It's amazing. And now we've got to this other part. What if you were tasked with the main artisan, the main craftsman for putting together the Ark of the Covenant? One of the most powerful relics of Judaism and Christianity. It's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive thing. We're going to close with that tonight. We've got an awesome show for you tomorrow. We'll have Kristen Beal / Gupta on tomorrow. It's going to be a very uplifting, very positive cast. She, like I said, we used to go to the same Sunday school, and I really actually don't know a whole lot about her story. It's very, and I will talk about this tomorrow, next time. I didn't, when you see somebody who's in a wheelchair, or when I see somebody who's in a wheelchair, I often don't want to ask questions. I don't want to do or say something that's going to make me put my foot in my mouth. I do that enough as it is. This one is when I'm aware. So I never asked Kristen about what had happened, whether she was born and needing a wheelchair or if an accident had happened. I never got too much into those questions, just because either she did. I felt like she wouldn't want to discuss it, or I figured if she was going to talk about it, she would, and she did a couple of times. But every time she seemed like she did, I was out doing something else. I was teaching Sunday school for the kids, or doing something else in a meeting for church or something like that. And I never got the whole story behind it. But my wife has read her books. She thinks they're great. We both, like I said, we both really like Kristen as a person and as a Christian. She's just a ray of sunshine, right? And so she'll be on here to talk about that. And I'll be learning about this, as many of y'all will be as well. Some of y'all might go to church with me, might go to church with her, might have read her books, maybe not, but excited about that. Anyway, again, that's going to be an open conversation. Be okay for you to ask a question if you want, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, you folks, have a good evening. Be safe. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. God bless and good night.